Okay, can you hear me well? Welcome back to the next session. It's really nice to see you. Happy, full, and with some coffee. Okay, before we start the next session, let me tell you that you have these handouts in front of you. So whatever I show in the PPTs, you have them in your handouts. I'm going to tell you which page to open during the session, so you don't have to open these handouts right now. Well, you can have a look through if you want. But before we start our session, let's find out about each other more, because this session, again, we are going to work on the worksheet, workbooks, teacher guide, and the activity books. That is why we are going to find out about each other more. What we are going to do right now is to play the human bingo. Ever played this game, the human bingo? Excellent. What we are going to do right now is I'll give you hand out this worksheet. You read the tasks over here, find out this person, write the name. As soon as you find, let's say, 4 people in a row or across, horizontally, vertically, then you shout bingo. What do you do when you find out all 4 people's across or down the names? Yes, you shout bingo. What do you need? What do you need to write the names over here? You need to ask the questions which are written over here. Can you write the name? This well, let's say everywhere on each grid, for example, Abdullah Bey, the name of one person only. No, you cannot. You need to ask as many people as possible. Okay. You can stand up and ask your friends, like from another table. Here, Mr. Shandr. Да. Давайте, не стесняйтесь. Давайте посмотрим, кто отдыхал на Бали летом. Смотрим. Да. У кого отпускные хорошие. Ну-ка, давайте посмотрим. Да, кто никуда не ездит. Зато кто-то в Сингапур съездил. Да. Okay, be brave, stand up and find out about your friends.
6 countries.
Have you been teaching in more than 5 schools so far?
Yes.
Excellent.
6 countries.
6 countries. Wow. Are you vegan?
No.
No? Do you like meat? You don't like meat, or you do eat? You don't like meat.
I don't like, but I can eat.
Did you eat meat last week?
Yes.
Ah.
Can you speak more than 3 languages?
Yes. No, I cannot. I know. You didn't eat meat last week, did you? What did you eat? No, yes, you ate. Did you eat meat last week?
Yeah, of course.
Yes, you did.
Have you been in this building before?
Yes, I have. Are you vegan? Maybe you were vegan, no? Do you eat meat?
No.
Maybe you were vegan. Did you eat meat last week? Of course I did. I know. Did you eat shashlik last week? No. So did you eat meat last week?
Yes.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Did you eat meat last week? I'm sorry. Did you eat meat last week?
Yes.
Did you?
Last week I did.
No, yeah, everyone eats meat. Maybe did you eat meat last week?
Did you eat? No. I mean, yeah.
You ate, yes? I saw. Did you eat meat last week? Yes.
Chicken is meat, right?
Yes, it's meat.
Okay. Do you have another teacher in the family?
Yes, I do. Do you speak more than 3 languages?
No, it's free.
And you?
Boring.
No? Okay. Do you speak more than three languages? You speak Turkish, right?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Ah, no. Yeah. Ah.
What did you do this summer? This summer, I was in Bishkek.
What time did you get up this morning?
5:30.
Oh, 5:30. Ah. Yes, I studied abroad. Malika. Yes, I am.
Not related.
Yes, not related to work. Have you ever studied anything online? Like online? What's your name? Marshall. Так. I'm going to have the first bingo class. Так. Do you have another teacher in your family?
Not my family.
Yay! Say shout bingo! Shout louder. Excellent. Okay, we have 2 bingos so far. Others are late. You may sit down. So, all of them will be bingo, yes. Mhm.
I guess I finished, right?
Oh, awesome. Bingo. So you have bingo. You may shout bingo now. So anyone who didn't eat meat last week? Everyone did, yes? Okay. So you know everything about me almost. What a perfect teacher I am. Then the agenda of this workshop is the same as yesterday, to look through the workbooks, activity books, the teacher guide, to find out how to work with it. I think this session, we decided to put this session after Miss Aysulus, because Miss Aysulus told you how to work with the teacher's guide, activity book, and people's book, right? So this session is going to be much easier for you to work with these 3 resources. And we will find out more how to use these 3 resources while planning the lesson. What we do right now is, Miss Aysulus mentioned something like these words during the session. I'm going to give you these stickers, different stickers. There are different words like, can you read them? What else? Then? What do you think they are? Explore. Then? Elaborate. Do you know the definition of these words? Make sure you Google them before we start. Engage, yes. These are the words I'm going to give you with these stickers. You need to answer these questions. What do you think is the purpose of this phase, and what kind of activities can be done? The thing is, when we teach science, there are 5 phases, these phases which we use in Singapore Science. Now, before I'm going to show you the answers, just think yourselves, what can be the purpose of this phase? Because I hope you understand the meaning of these words, and what activities can be done. Maybe you've already used these phases in your teaching, in your own teaching. So let's have a look at these 5 stages. Think when you use them. Miss Aysul, can you join Miss Nazira? Let me give you 2 minutes to answer these questions. Only 2 questions. You can write on it, you can discuss. It doesn't matter. And please don't open the handouts which I gave you, because there you can find the answers. Uh,
Explain first, evaluation is last. Okay, private business. But I don't know. Yesterday,
Okay, thank you. So, thank you, people. Have a look at me, or Wi-Fi, as Ms. Dinara used to say. So, any ideas about, anyone wants to talk about elaborate? Any idea? I had to Google this word yesterday. Let me be honest. So what is elaborate? Any ideas? Anyone wants to talk about elaboration? Do you elaborate in your lessons? No? Me neither. Okay. What's the meaning of this word, elaborate? No ideas? Maybe.
Is it like eliciting or different?
Maybe. You can also write in the chats. Let's see. Maybe there are some really genius people who know what's the meaning of the word elaborate. Let's find out later. How about elevating? Evaluating, not elevating, sorry. Assessment. How about explaining something? Exploring. What's the difference between explore and explain?
Explore, when you explore on the stage of explore, you maybe elicit the background knowledge of your students and explore what they already know, or maybe give them a question and they maybe try to find answers to this question, and only then you give explanation.
Now, can you put these words in the order? Any order? How do you start?
Explain. Then explain.
You opened the handout which I gave you, did you? Really? That's not fair. I asked you not to open them. Okay. What you are going to do right now is it's not enough to put them in the order. You are going to match these phases with their explanation. So in this handout, have a look at this description of these phases and match them with their definitions. And then please put them in the order. So what do you do first? First, you match with the definitions. Second, you put them in the order. You need to match the definitions because the first one is not engage, maybe. The second one is not explore, maybe. Я забыла, что он называется Саша. Okay, let me give you to work in your groups. How much time do you need? I guess. You can do it in groups, in pairs if you want. Let me give you like 5 minutes, 6 minutes is enough, yes? And then we will check the answers together. Some kind of IELTS reading for you. Да, это презентация. Да. Yeah, this one what you need to have because I gave you the wrong. Sorry, yes. Да. Не разбросаны. А, у вас не разные. Сейчас я вам скажу. Чего-то не хватает. Вот это посмотрите. Да. I'm so sorry. Because when we printed, it just got out a different way. Нет, нельзя. Было проверьте. Да. Что, поставили? То есть я вам сейчас другой дам. Ай, да. А, вот он здесь. Да, можете и так соединить. Мгм. So, did you find out what's elaborate?
Мне кажется, вот это. Уже, когда они все поняли, они уже будут это использовать. Как...
Connecting to the real life, да?
Вот это engage, потому что, видишь, что excite, ready to explore, да? А это explore, потому что тут investigate. Это explain, потому что тут учитель должен explanation дать, больше phase of instruction. Это evaluate, потому что они уже будут compare.
Maybe. I don't know the answer. Нет, нет. Классно. Нашли, что такое elaborate?
Почему текст, он или он поделен на части?
Он поделен на части. Вот, например, вот это у нас не evaluate точно. Вам нужно, да, это.
Здесь почему-то начинается.
Потому что я решила сократить. Здесь было побольше параграф, я решила сократить.
Здесь
Да.
Все, ладно.
So the first one is explore, yes? Yes. Almost the same answers. Правильно, да? Правильно. Do you think this one is elaborate?
No, I'm not sure.
Because your friend thinks it's different.
I don't know. This one is the first one, second. I'm mixing this one. Which one is the first? I don't understand. Maybe this is the this is the engaging. This is the exploring, but this is mixing for.
Okay. Finished? So what is the first stage you said? Let's put them in the order. What's the first one? All right, we start with engage. And what do you do in the engage level? What does the text say? Can you explain in your own words? Not to read. So what's the
they engage At the engagement level, the aim of this stage is to attract students' attention and to lead them into the topic. So this
Great.
is the main aim of engage stage.
That's right. That's the purpose of engage level. What's the next level of this phase?
Explore.
So the first one is engage. The second
Explore.
one it is explore. Right. Anyone who wants to explain me the explore level? What do we do in this phase?
Teacher should draw attention to the topics.
Yes.
Draw attention to the students' topic and making interesting. Yes. Engaging.
Exactly.
Explore. So searching the books, people books, or doing something activities, or the giving definition.
Anyone agrees or disagrees?
Maybe you are disagreeing.
And also another thing is, look at the first sentence. It says, let me give you the answers and you will find out. It says that once the students are interested, what they start to do? Yes. At the stage of explore, you start stating the problem to the students. What is the problem of the inquiry? What students are going to investigate in this lesson, in the science lesson? So it is important at the stage of explore to show the students what? To state the problem, to state the issue, anything which helps the students to make an inquiry. What's the next level? What's the next phase? So it's important that we have explain after the explore phase, because and it is important. It is important to. And who is going? Who explains the terms, the new topic, and etc. Or sometimes the explain phase can be just expanded explore phase. So in the explore phase, the teacher states the problem. In the explanation, sometimes depends on the level of the student. Maybe the students need teacher talking or teacher explanation time, just like with the magnets today. But sometimes if it is grade 3 or 4, students can explore the idea themselves where the teacher only facilitates. Yeah. What's the next level we have? After explain, we have which one? Elaborate. What is elaborate? Did you find out? Exactly. Elaboration is connecting all the knowledge they gain with the real life. Exactly. For example, during the coffee break, I was saying that I just found out that copper doesn't, magnets cannot attract the copper. And I was talking about how my sons were actually fascinated by the magnets, and we actually checked the whole house, everything at home, beginning from the fridge, ending to the sofa. So this is something when you connect the real life with your topic or with your lesson. Whenever you start connecting the real life problems with your topic, that's called the elaboration phase. Yes. For example, did you notice the elaboration phase process when Miss Ayslu was showing her lesson? Do you remember? Exactly. Why? Exactly. So whenever she showed some examples from the lessons, When she gave some life hacks, it was elaboration process because it was connected to our world, our life of the teachers, right? Next one, the last one we have what? Which phase? Evaluate. What do we do in the evaluation phase? What does the teacher do? What does the student do? We assess the students, or they compare their prior knowledge to the knowledge they gained now. As you said, whenever we made this quiz, it's an evaluation process where we checked our knowledge ourselves. Basically, Miss Ayslu was not assessing our knowledge, right? Because she didn't show the results on the board. She didn't ask each of us how many points we got. We just assessed ourselves. It was a self-assessment, but it was an evaluation phase anyway. Okay, so we need to make sure that these 5 consecutive phases are used or applied in each science subject, in each Singapore science subject. Why? They can you please tell me what's the reason? Why we need to use these 5 phases while we are teaching science? Exactly, because that's the main answer to your question. What's the difference between teaching simple language, English language, and the science? The difference is this one of the stage. While we are using all of these 5 stages, we are showing the students the difference between learning the language and the science. And as you noticed, when did we make this fish stuff? At the beginning of the lesson or at the end? When did we do this? The previous session. Exactly. So we started with what kind of phase? We started with engaging. Every time you do your science lessons, the first thing you need to think about is engaging, conducting different kinds of experiments, setting problems, asking questions, and then you can do your teaching time. Because when you do the mere teaching, it's not going to be that interesting to the student. Also, why we need these 5 phases is it's a constructivist teaching model. Constructivist teaching model is the same teaching model when you allow your kids to play with the mud. When they try something themselves, when they feel something, touch themselves, do something, all the experiments themselves, that's the constructivist teaching model. And also the students understand the ideas, concepts, and then they gain skills while learning the science. And also they learn how to apply some things. For example, the same as magnets, they can apply later in their lives and tell their parents that copper actually doesn't attract metal, yes? And also, as for the assessment, it's really easy to find out which of the students understood while they are doing the experiment. And this is also about differentiation. Whenever the students make, for example, if the students are doing really well, they can do different mini fish, or you can give some more tasks for them to create something new rather than the fish, yeah? Okay, then the next one, what we do right now is we are going to do the same thing we did yesterday. There are some activity books, workbooks, and the teacher guide. What I want you to do is choose 1 grade from the science books and get 1 activity book, 1 student's book, and 1 teacher's guide. And please complete this table. In this table, you need to choose. The first thing is 1 chapter. You choose 1 chapter and then answer these questions, beginning from the time, the main idea, and etc. How much time do you need to do this task? Yes, 10 minutes. Unlike yesterday, you are only given 10 minutes. Yeah. Сейчас мы работаем с книжками, но у онлайн участников у них есть, да. Yeah. All the activity books, teacher guides, you can find here. Yeah, choose which grade you want. Do you want grade 4?
They already take.
They already take. Who wants to take the grade 4 one? Anyone? Anyone? You can join this group if you want. Okay. You decided to choose grade 2? Okay. Так, почему нет?
Здесь внизу, наверное.
А, книги. Странно. Вообще ведь его должны были быть. Окей. Сейчас я посмотрю еще раз.
When you don't have a shot.
Here, what you are going to complete. Ta-da! I'll give you some markers and etc. Check how different the teacher's guide and activity books over here. Here. А можете побольше activity book взять? Каждому по одному, да? Давайте. У вас teacher's guide, да? Возьмите. Well, you can take several activity books and people's books so that you don't have to share one.
The first one is behind.
So the first question is the time, yes? How long does one lesson take in science?
14 minutes.
Yeah, 14 minutes. So you don't have to
We have
count
to
like
plan it
yesterday.
here?
Yeah.
Like it's yesterday.
Yeah, like yesterday.
We are going to draw like this one. For planning.
Yeah, why not? You can draw the same thing, or you can draw whatever you want.
10 minutes
That's
not
fine.
enough for us.
Try to make it 10 minutes. Chapter. Another unit. Well, unit chapter is the same, yes.
Ne zaman shadow yok? When?
As for the time, we know that it's much easier now, yes? Because yesterday we had to count. Today it's easier because one lesson lasts, it's a slow set how long, what it is. So it's much easier.
These books are for international kids, so they're already adapted for 14 minutes. Mathematics, I'm not original.
So which chapter did you choose? Or are you still looking and choosing? You can't choose the magnets topic or chapter. It's grade 1. Okay. So let's choose one chapter.
Part of movie Red Kit, you know the Red Kit covers the part of the movie. Red Kit is the taking the gun faster than shadow. They have like this one as a movie. And
so which chapter did you choose?
Chapter 7, unit 7.
Oh, unit 7, yeah. Light and shadows. Oh, this is the most common topic in all of the science.
And also, fire don't have shadow always.
Yes, the fire never has a shadow.
We choose the good topics. I have many information.
Did you choose the unit?
Yes.
Animals. My favorite unit. Awesome.
Are we making a poster?
Yes.
Okay.
So first we find out about the main idea. Yes. Did you find out the main idea?
Main idea for the types of animals, what kinds of animals.
Is that all?
You're cheating, then.
No. It's correct. It's okay. Mm,
And the color, one color or like one color animal or different. So they cannot specify vertical.
have a look at the scheme of work and have a look at the learning objectives of this
So that's why I'm saying to differentiate kinds of animals.
types of animals. Differentiate by the
Their places of living,
places of living, types, then
animal parts,
parts of animals,
and
and
move, how they move.
okay. So you need to write in one sentence what's the main objective of the unit. So there are 4 things. Yes, they are planning to learn.
And just this moment, you can ask this question, show this one, and is it possible with this? You can ask this. Is it possible? We can wait. Then after, we are going to explain maybe one of the candle and we're doing classes and the web parts. We will show the
Abdullah Bey, show it again, please. So Abdullah Bey's team chose the topic light and shadow.
And then after we can take one of the candle during the lesson time, the life support, and we will candle and play the game with your hand and then sometimes the animals. After taking the hand and one of the fire and show them where is the shadow. And because the fire don't have the shadow, then after we are going to and draw attention to the students where the lesson. Then after we started it's starting by this engaging, they already interested. And after we are going to start with the following, because they're also having what it is for starting with those. That's going to be
So did you have a look at the teacher guide?
Yes.
What do they say? What's the main idea? Or is it only does it only have one idea, or let's have a look at the scheme of work?
Understanding that the light needs enter our eyes and ask for the see. Their main idea for the maybe light, but the light is meaning the shadow. Under the shadow, they're going to explain in the light. Maybe this one.
These learning objectives might be difficult for grade 2 students, right? How can we make it? How can we simplify it into one sentence? So the first objective is to understanding and uses.
Understanding to like it. Maybe I can use the latter also. And the topics is maybe we are going to attention the topics light and the shadow, and we are going to, if they have the shadow, should be light. We can start like this.
So understand that we need light to make a shadow. Okay. Does it cover all of the lesson objectives that we have?
Start, enter, line. Period. There, if you take them this periods, maybe we can.
What's another objective? How shadows are formed? Okay, so let's write it in one sentence, and then you are going to present to another group.
Okay. Maybe what we did. How to write it? How to shadow make engaging.
As you said, we need to use these two words, light and shadow. So if we make it into one sentence, it's going to sound as what?
Here we are going to sound light and shadow. Well, which is the after that? Maybe you can shadow is the first or light is the first? Light. Okay. You're going to ask a question this one.
Good idea. Why not? Okay, good idea.
Ghostwriting method. But mine is not.
Okay.
We can go ahead and just shadow here. Maybe they will understand exactly. Maybe they are going to add this.
Hold on, girls.
And the one hand. Maybe you can.
Workbook. Don't forget about practical activities. Where can we find these practical activities? Let's have a look. Is it in the student's book? Is it in the workbook or in the teacher's?
And then
Right.
we are using.
Look at these experiments which they show in the book. Which one? Excellent. So you found it in the activity book. Excellent. So you can, yeah, you can draw that one. So what exactly topic specific vocabulary is that? Animals, they are parts of body where they live, they habitats, yeah. Mhm.
But under coming to lightness. That's my right one here.
Also, please don't forget to write the language learning objectives. So which words we learn. And where do we find these language learning activities? In the teacher's guide or?
They're right, is it?
Yeah, it's the part where it's written vocabulary, yeah? Okay, good.
Maybe, yeah. Shadow.
Mm-hmm. Such as good. But how about the science language objectives, learning objectives? So here you need to understand that language learning objectives is about the language that they learn, but science learning objectives is something they should be able to do. Yes, about the concept. Okay. Are they going to learn here the types as mammals, vertebrates, invertebrates? Are they going? Oh no, not in this stage. Yeah. Okay. Are you? Here. Please make sure you identify the language learning objectives and the science objectives. What's your science objective? Which is more connected to the concept rather than the language or the vocabulary, yes? So what is our science objective then? Not the language learning.
About the shadows that was finding that one.
Here, you will find out later. It's useful. And the next one. Oh. Это коллега 206 коллега. Да, будут передавать. Be quick. It's only 1 minute left. Be quick. Okay, great. Excellent. How about the time? So did you write down how many lessons you're going to have for this unit time? So how many lessons do you need? Where do you find it out? In the teacher's guide. Mr. Sul, can you please show in the teacher's guide where they can find this question bank and etc. Yeah, you're going to. Yes, you need to present.
Start with the red movie.
The movie.
That's second.
Yeah, you can have a look at in the. Maybe Mr. Sanjar is using. Do you need the computer? Because. Okay, let me show what they're drawing. Wait. So this, oops, okay. Yeah, this is the unit about light and shadow, and they are drawing the lesson objectives, the activities, the main idea of this unit. This is the unit for grade 2. And the next group, they decided to draw the unit of animals for grade 1, yes? So this is their main idea, the main idea of the unit, the practical activities, language objectives, science objectives, and they say that it takes 12 lessons, 12 periods. Great. Thank you. All right, time's up. So let us start. Let's present our findings, our unit. So this group is going to start first because you've finished, right? Okay. Why don't you come out, 2 of you at least, and present your unit to this group and the rest of the people who are watching us. Okay, please. You can do rock, scissors, paper. Come on, be good. Okay. All right, this group you need to listen. Thank you.
So we took the unit animals from grade 1 science. And the main idea of this unit is to differentiate animals by their size, color, place of living, the ways they move, and to learn different parts of animals. For practical activities, we could use puzzles to teach students the parts of the body, animal bodies, then use animal toys and sort them, for example, to classify, say, choose only those animals who live in ocean, choose those animals who live in Africa, or farm animals, or the same ways, for example, body parts, choose only animals which have tails, for example, then matching, again, we can use different online resources such as Wordwall, live worksheets, and so on, to match, for example, match the animals with their place of living, match the animals with the way they move, for example, like fish, swim, and so on and so forth. As regards, will you speak more? No? Okay. Language objectives, first to teach, to learn topic-specific vocabulary, such as parts of body animals, verbs of movement, and as regards grammar structure is the verbs can, can't, plus the structure of such as. And science learning objectives, again, to differentiate animals by their place of living, size, colors, body parts, and way of movement. All in all, this unit consists of 12 periods, so 12 academic hours.
I can add one thing. I used to be a teaching assistant of a science teacher as well when I started my teaching career. So what we did in this unit about animals is we actually created the real size of animals. With the students of grade 1 and 2, when we actually created the real size of an elephant, the students were shocked as well as we were, because we actually drew this elephant and divided into several parts, and we actually stuck it on the wall, and then students saw every day how huge the elephants are, and then they took pictures so they could actually see in real life how huge the elephants can be. And then the next week we decided to do the same with the whale. So we actually had to take this whale to the school corridor, school hall, because it was too long. The fish was long, the whale. So, but anyway, the students liked it, the real size of the animal.
Another idea is maybe to take students to the zoo if there is an opportunity.
Great, yes.
To the excursion, and the one more game which I didn't mention is miming game, which regards learning the verbs of movement. Like show how I don't know, a kangaroo moves. Show or guess the animals.
Okay, thank you so much. Awesome. The next group, please. You chose the grade 2 resources, right?
Okay, first off, I'm going to shadow. Let's look the shadow here, and we are going to ask the students, could you do this? Who wants to get the shadow on the light? And we are going to ask this one. Very sorry, let's put it here. And maybe we can do it like this one, and some of the animals, and I ask the students who can did one more, and someone followed as well. And after, I want to show the one of the video. Is it possible, Sanjar? Yes. Okay. Evet. Okay. Now. Okay. Now after we can ask this one. Is it possible to faster than your shadow? Now let me try it. And you can ask your students one or two, and the light, let me remove or something do yourself. Is it possible? And I'm very interested in this, some of the students trying to faster than their shadow. I'm trusting myself because they wanted it like this one. You can show this one. Then after, at the end of the day, they are going to watching this movie. When I was a child, we are watching this one. After we can show the some of the shadow and continue, please.
Next activities. Here we want to make
So we want to make some stick puppets like this, and maybe they will make them, and after that we can do an show like this. Can you turn your light? Yes, we can make like this, and they will guess what animal is it, and etc. They can make a lot of animals like fish, sheep, and etc. Cat, dog, like this, and they will, after in the end of the activity, they will guess what animal is it, and etc. This is an activity.
Take attention and engage the starting to explore part, and the books are going to open and the
It will be very fun and interesting for them, I think. Next, our learning objectives. First one, we need to understand that, the students need to understand that light helps us to see, and the light also can be harmful. And after that, they should understand how shadows are formed.
Also, you have a vocabulary like light, shadow, enter, eye, etc. Also, this lesson takes 9 pages.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all. I actually would like to thank this group for including 5 E's in their lesson, because that's what we are going to do. But this time I decided to make it more challenging. Let's choose another chapter. Yes, thanks for making 5 E's already, but this time you are going to create all 5 E's, because I saw some of engage and elaborate phases in this group. So let's make it more challenging. This time you are going to choose another unit or another chapter, or even maybe one lesson, whatever you wish, and think of these 5 E phases you would like to do in this unit. You need to complete the same poster if you want at the back. So it says 20 minutes, but it's not correct. It's false. Mr. Sanjar is too kind. I'm going to give you only 10 minutes, which is enough. So think of the 5 E phases and read the descriptions again, and find what you can do in this for each of these 5 E phases. Okay, whoever is listening online, you can take the same unit, which is in the resources, and think of the 5 E's which you can use, and please write them in the chat, and later we are going to read and send maybe some snacks as a gift via post.
sound is very
Okay.
more some. I think some. What do you think some? Because
Do they have a topic or unit like sound?
I see here.
Ah, interesting.
Why you can go first?
Oh, that's interesting. Now think of 5 E's. What's the first E we have? Engage. How are you going to engage them about this topic? We need to interest them, right? Mostly engagement is shown with the help of experiment or something they create on their own, like this fish we made with Miss Isolia. how we can engage students with living and non-living things. For example, I can give you an idea. When I worked as a science teacher's assistant, he actually brought an insect which looks like a leaf, and it was I forgot its name, but it was something which looked like a leaf. Такое насекомое, которое похоже на листочек, который не двигается еще. Yeah, it was alive. And then he asked the question, is it alive or is it dead? Does it live or it doesn't? So, and then he, еще он принес лупу, дети смотрели, and then someone said, it's alive because it moves. And then he said, then find eyes. Where are his legs, nose? How does he breathe? How does he live? Where's his heart? And etc. And
Если дети перестают здесь проще. Если там есть цветочек, искусственные животные, можно.
ух ты, круто. So, excellent. So you can write down in engage. So you bring two kinds of flowers. Okay? How about you bring a cactus and then find out whether it's alive or not? You can cut it into two and see that it's alive. Yeah. So which one did you choose? How are you going to engage the students? The silent phone. I love this game in my childhood. So that's engagement part. Think of the other phases. Explore how you're going to explore them. Actually, you made this in your science lesson, right? I remember because we
with first graders.
Mrs.
No, not science teacher.
I also forgot the name. No, okay. Because I remember we made it at home because my sons made me do this at home. All right, so we found the engagement part. That's awesome. How about exploring? How you're going to explore, help the students explore the sound then?
Maybe bring lots of stuff like a clock, fan, and make them listen to the sound of these objects. And then
have a look at the teacher's guide. What does it say? Like what they should explore? What's the lesson objective for this unit? Open the teacher's guide and have a look. So exploring phase is always connected to the learning objectives of the unit, right? But what's the purpose? What's the objective?
Sound travels away from the source. What's in software.
Exactly. So we need to make them explore that sound travels, right? How are we going to make them explore this?
So one student can go outside the class and say something loudly. So other people sitting here in the class can hear the sound. So that sound travels.
Nice. That's an idea. Any ideas in the teaching guide? Because teaching guide actually gives lots of ideas for these 5 E phases. Yeah. You see, they have already lots of ideas in the teaching guide.
Maybe we can take the old telephone.
Yeah, you can. Evet, telefonum kayboldu. Let's check. Yes, you can hear it. Yeah. You can feel the vibration, everything. That's awesome. Oh, here we go. Buldum.
Phone, cup, what's it? Phone?
Yeah.
Maybe
Cup phone, maybe.
cup phone or
What does the teaching guide say?
It's an activity book.
Okay.
It's
making
about
some-
collaborate.
Did you think about the explore phase? What do you do in the explore phase? Excellent, awesome. Why don't you write it in the poster and explain it? Because you need to explain it to the next book.
Okay. But also, it's all it's all given in here.
Awesome. Any more ideas? Oops, sorry.
To plug the guitar string and make the sound.
Okay, now what's the idea?
What does it say in the teaching guide? How they explore? What do you do for the explore phase?
They bring equipments, real and plastic flower, and
Mhm.
explore on stage. Not water.
But it's in the engaged phase, right? How about engage? How do you engage them? Then?
No, in engagement, you bring two kinds of flowers and
Okay.
you ask which one is real and which is not.
And
Which smells, which doesn't.
Mhm.
Yeah? Which is alive, which is not alive.
Mhm.
And in the fourth stage, you already ask students to predict what will happen if you do not water these
Mm.
ones. Then they predict. Then maybe you may also my own ideas. You can ask, look around, and say which things are alive, which are
Mhm.
not.
Or you can even cut the parts of this flower and find out what happens if you cut the alive one. What happens if you cut the non-living flower? Yes. Okay.
Make a how to make this sound? Maraka? Maraka like this one? Oh, this is also the same.
Okay.
Mhm.
Are you going to complete the poster? Are you going to do the poster right now?
We need this one.
Yes, because you need to explain
Yes,
your.
wait a minute. Yeah, this one.
Можно я подвижу под стеной Krashen? Смотрите, сперва заширьте ссылку Стивена Krashen. Ну, подождите, зачем? Чтобы они сами смотрели. Угу. Пусть начнут смотреть. Okay. I'm sorry.
Это всегда.
Mm. А я его показала родителям, которые сказали, где результат? Результата нет. Да, родители начали спрашивать. Да.
It's not fixed. Exactly what. Is it text?
That's a student's book, yes. Whatever is
Textbook-
colorful.
Textbook explaining students.
Yes, textbook is this one. This is a workbook.
Ah,
The black
textbook
and white. Is,
explaining also students.
yeah,
Ah, okay.
this is a textbook. Cup phone. Yeah, we can make it as a cup phone. Okay, wait. So we have engage, explore. What do we do in the explore part?
Explore key.
Write down rubber activity, then in the explore.
Rubber. Explain.
How do you explain that? Ah, okay.
And explain.
They make the maracas themselves?
Maybe. We can put this one. We don't have the maraca, but we can show this.
Hmm. Okay. How do you evaluate? No, the smaller one, the smaller one. This one is a good maraca. Yeah. Yeah, okay. Mhm. Okay, so I guess you're ready. Are you? Good. All right, so let's present each group's findings. There are 5 ideas. Okay, you are the first to present, right? Good.
Before they start this. We are the first. Hadi bakalım. My team is very good activity. And first off, we are going to engage the students. And for myself, I get the somethings this one. I enter into classes and out of the doors. And I will close the doors and I will say to my students, I will say some things and understand me. Actually, they don't understand that they are trying to. I will close the doors and I will say, oh, hello, are you coming? They feel vibrates, but they don't understand. And after they come, we don't understand your sound. They say some vibrate. And we will give the sound is vibrate our main idea. And we started engaging like this one. And after, let's continue. Second step. Explore.
For that activity, they need to take a bird, and after that, they will hold the wrapper like this between their thumbs, and after that, they need to pack the inner finger, and they will hear a sound. So it means that because of the vibration, the sound comes.
Okay, now next lesson, explaining.
In explaining part, we can use pictures of musical instruments, for example, guitar and drum. And first of all, we are going to explain them. If you, oh, I forgot this one. If you hit the drum, you can make a sound and with the guitar and like this. And next, we can ask them questions. How can we make the sound louder? And they answer like, we can do it harder, do it harder, and how we can make the sound louder and we can hit it more softly like this. Because I'm explaining. Yeah.
And the bottle. And the bottle.
We can use, I think the old students have for the water cup, and you can taste the water, the sound, and what is more than, and we can also see that. And what is the vibrate? Because the main idea of the sound is coming to vibrate, and there's because of two loops. Okay, next is explore, evaluate, and we are going to look into books, answer the questions.
Quick question. Quick check questions, yeah? Excellent. Thank you. The next group, please. Thank you so much. Is it only one person? Let me hold you for you.
So the lesson is called "What are the living things?" First, we start with engage. We bring two kinds of flowers. The fake one and the alive one, right? And we ask students like what they can see, what's the difference. Then we go to the explore part. In this part, the teacher has to like beforehand bring the flower, which is like kind of dead, dying, and we bring the alive one, like the living one, and we try to water those both flowers. And the students, and we ask like students like what's happening there, like what's happening with the first flower and the second flower. And so like they try to guess like which is the living one, which is non-living one. And then we go to explain part, where we explain them that there are things that are living and non-living. So in this case, like this flower is already non-living, although the real flower, like which is living, is living. Yeah, but like we also say that living things are alive. Yeah, and also they with students we discussed that like animals, plants, flowers, and like other stuff are living, and toys, furniture, books, and other stuff are non-living. And in the elaborate part, they have to identify the living things. So we can show them the video, and they can like discuss and decide whether the things that are shown living or non-living. And we can also discuss with students like why some of things are living and why non-living. For example, jellyfish can move, it's alive, right? Water can move too, but it's not it's a non-living thing. So like we discuss with students. And in the evaluate part, we can do the test in the activity book, or we can like we can give them like pictures. We can show them pictures, and they have to like decide whether things are living or non-living.
Okay, thank you so much. And also for the living and non-living things, I used to live in and work in Shymkent, and there we have our favorite place, Dendra Park. So for the living and non-living things, we used to have a trip to this Dendra Park and identify which of the things are living and non-living things, and water it as well inside there. Okay, thank you so much. That's awesome. The next part of our session is watching a video. In order to understand the importance of these 5 phases, first of all, and then second, just to answer the question how students learn the language, acquire language, and learn especially these complex science terms. We have a video of Stephen Krashen and his theory of learning and acquiring the language. What I want you to do is to watch this video and complete this table. And there are 3 things you are going to listen. First one, about his German language, how he teaches German language. Second, the story about Itomi, the Japanese girl. The third, you are going to listen about affective filter. So please listen for these 3 things he speaks about and complete this table, and we will discuss with you together. Whoever is watching online, you can watch the whole video, because I asked you to start or to watch it earlier, and we will discuss the questions later. Okay, wait a second. No, I have cut some of them because to save some time.
Go for it.
It's 2 and 5. Are you ready to listen? Or to watch? Yeah.
I'd like to take just a couple of minutes to give you some sample language lessons. I'll use a language that I'm sure you've heard before, and maybe some of you speak. And you can tell me which of these two very brief lessons you like better. Here's lesson number 1. The Devil ist anfangen. Und die Brücken voraussagen, das nach meinem Meinung. Deutsch ist eine sehr schöne Sprache. Und ich hoffe, dass Sie alle sehr viel Erfolg mit Deutsch haben werden. What do you think of the lesson so far? You think if I get talking to you like that, you pick up German? Not very likely. How about if I repeat it? That help? Probably not. Instead of telling you, that help? Probably not. How about if I said it and you repeat it back? Again, don't think that. How about if I read it out? You know, you tell me. What if I put it out? You try to guess the story. None of these things help. None of these things mean anything. And I hope you can see that now. Here's lesson number 2. And for this, you have to watch me carefully. Das ist meine Hand. Verstehen Sie das? Hand? I'm going to say, ja, ich hear you. Das TPR. Ja. Good. Kopf. Das ist mein Kopf. Sind Sie Kopf? Ja. Gut. Kopf. Here out.
Hand, Kopf.
They say that.
I'm very sorry. They are the sponsors of this event. Ohren.
Wie viele Augen? 1, 3, Augen. 3. Ist das richtig? 3. 3. 3. If you understood lesson number 2, not every word necessary to keep you German. And now I'm going to share with you the most important thing I have learned about language. We acquire language in one way and only one way. We understand messages. We call this comprehensible input. We acquire language when we understand what people tell us, not how they say it, but what they say, or when we understand what we read.
Okay, you have some time to complete your table, and I'm going to show you some. Yeah, it's written there: comprehensible input and traditional way of.
Usually.
It says traditional, how he taught in the traditional way, yes, and in the comprehensible input, yes. Now you're going to watch a video about Itomi, the Japanese girl, how he taught her in a traditional way and how he used the comprehensible input. So watch the next story.
That certainly happens to you. And bear in mind, you could have before you my experience took place in 1974 when I was briefly exiled from the University of Butter. Director of English as a second language. And like everyone else in New York, we lived in a big apartment. And the apartment next to it was owned by the parents. And every year, there'd be a new family. Every year, there would be children. But we speak English. Director of English as a second language. I will teach English to these children and brag about it to my friends. I remember going up to the little girl next door. She was 4 years old. Her name was Tommy. And I didn't know about this material on language acquisition, and nobody did. And I thought then the way you get people to acquire language is you get them to practice talking. like I talk, right? Say, tell me, talk to me, say good morning, say hi. No response. Well, clearly I decided I've got to make this more concrete. He told me to say, oh, no response. So obviously I've got to break it down into its component parts. Let's work on initial consonants. Well, look at my difference. Again, no response. There's a theory going around then, a lot of people seem to be I think you have to push it out of them, so I tried that. Like, well, here you go, until you say, oh, I didn't repeat, no matter what I said. He didn't say anything the first week, he didn't say anything the second week, the first month, the second month. Actually, that's not entirely true. Children during the stage do pick up certain expressions from the other children in the neighborhood. It's not real language. They understand approximately what they mean. Again, it's not real language. They have a rough idea what to use it in roughly appropriate situations. Things like leave me alone, get out of here. In fact, one child I knew, the only thing he could say was kick your ass, headed everywhere. I wasn't quite sure what it meant. After about 5 months, he told me to start to speak. And several things were interesting. First, it looked a lot like first language acquisition. Same concept, one word, 2 words, gradually getting more complicated. Second, it came quickly. By the time Itomi and her family went back to Japan at the end of the year, her English was closing in on the way the other children in the neighborhood were talking. Question is this: what was going on during those 5 months? She was listening. She was picking out on things. When she started to speak, it was not the beginning of the language acquisition. She started to speak, it was not the beginning of the language acquisition. It was the result she had gotten through those 5 months. Now, trial period for a child in a situation like this is not pathological. It's normal. It's what you expect. You like to have a silent period.
Okay, so now it's for you time to complete the table. What happened when she was taught in a traditional way, and what happened when she was actually experiencing the comprehensible input? And the last thing is about affective filter. Yes, you will understand. He is talking about high anxiety and low anxiety. Here in the affective filter, he is going to talk about high anxiety and low anxiety. Now listen and you will understand.
Very important one. Research and language acquisition has concluded that there are several factors that are related to success in language acquisition. I'm going to list them here on the screen. One factor is motivation. Students who are more motivated do better in language acquisition. Those of you who study this know that it's a little more complicated than this, but this is a good approximation. Second, self-esteem. Probably the dominant concept today in popular psychology. Students with more self-esteem, more self-confidence do better in language acquisition. Third, anxiety. Empirical correlations are negative. The lower the anxiety, the better the language acquisition. In fact, my hypothesis is for language acquisition to really succeed, anxiety should be 0. This is happening. Have you ever been in a situation, speaking a language that you may not speak very well, and the conversation gets so interesting, you temporarily forget that you're using another language? If this is happening to you, that's when you're acquiring. When your focus is completely on the message, what the other person is saying, and your anxiety is temporarily gone. By the way, there's an important footnote to this. I guess today we say sidebar.
Okay, so let's discuss together. The first one, comprehensible input. What did he say about comprehensible input?
Understanding the language.
Mm-hmm. So when
It's a German language.
Yeah, the German language, the first one.
First one is just writing and German.
Yeah,
Showing that.
Mm-hmm. So when you say animals can be vertebrates, invertebrates, it's not going to say anything to the children, yes? when you show them the pictures or let them even touch or see the vertebrates in vertebrates, this is going to make difference. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, here, the demonstration. Make the comprehensible input. The demonstration is really important because when you use just verbal communication for non-speakers, it's more difficult to understand. And when you support it with some demonstration, mimicry, and so on, it makes much more comprehensible. Like there is another example. One woman went abroad, and so she went to the pharmacy and she wanted to buy some omega. And there were like two types of omega, DNA, DLA, and DHA, something I'm not sure. And there was an assistant who spoke English. And when she asked which omega I have to buy, like there's two types of omega, I don't know which one I have to buy. The assistant who worked officially there as a specialist, consultant for some medicine. So she explained her in a very difficult scientific language something. She said, I don't understand. And then she went to pay money to the cash point. And the woman came and said, okay, look, omega DHA is for brain, omega DA for heart. Which one you need? Oh yes, I need this one. So, and the problem was solved. Like this is what about the comprehensible way where demonstration works. Like he was drawing, demonstrating, showing. So this is about the input.
The second question is about some silent students, right? In our classrooms, we may have some silent students. What do we need? What does Mr. Steven say about this kind of students?
You mean about the Japanese girl?
Yes.
No, actually here, this is a series of first language acquisition works because we also acquire any foreign language by the same pattern as our first language. For example, our kids, when they are just born, they also don't speak for the first year. And when they are approximately 9 months and 1 year old, they start telling some words, then phrases, then sentences, and more and the same. Like first she needed to listen to get some set of vocabulary, and only then she could produce some language. It was like it's really stressful when someone wants you at once to repeat something, to speak something, especially Japanese and English language. These are two languages we have which have quite different articulation, and different articulation organs work in Japanese and English. That's why it's also kind of stressful and causes anxiety.
Exactly. So let me give you one example. In Shymkent, we had one boy who was the son of our principal, and he actually never spoke any Kazakh because he used to live in Moscow, lived in Astana, and well, actually he wasn't actually engaged in Kazakh language at all. So 5 months later, he lived in the same building where we lived. 5 or maybe half a year later, I asked him a question. Yesentai қалайсың? I asked him this question every single day because I used to be the head of primary school. He always answered me нормально. But then a half a year later, he answered like жақсы. And this was like, aha, we were so excited, all of the teachers excited. And later we found out that he actually learned these words from his peers, from his teacher, but it took some time to just acquire this language. And the last one is, yes, is about anxiety. We need to make sure that these science lessons are not stressful to our students. How? First, we need to ignore all the grammar. We don't have to actually correct their languages or say that make the full and beautiful sentences. It's fine if they say magnet attract or magnets attract or whatever they say using the grammar. And also if it's okay if students don't know all the words, even we might forget some of the words sometimes. And mostly it's better to do some practical activities and ask them to learn some of the words. For example, we can teach them the words like cut. Let's cut this, stick, some bunch of words they can use while doing the experiment, but we can't ask them to say everything in English while they are doing something. And the same, while they are doing some experiments, we can't ask them or force them to say everything in English or speak English, don't speak Russian, this is a science English lesson, and etc. So it's rather, we should allow them to have some fun. So this is the end of our session. Thank you so much for working on this workbook. Yes. Yeah.
When I was in Indonesia, people explained the technique is Coco. The technique names is a Coco. I don't understand what is the meaning Coco, and the people come to here and the lamp switch on. And repeating means switch on the lamp. I say switch on the lamp. And again switch off. And turning around and they come again, says open the lamp. I open. Close the lamp. I close. I don't understand why they do like this one. Switch on and open. Then here he explaining me. When I say the open, you understand me? Yes, I understand. I switch on. And when I say switch on, you understand me? Yes, I understand. And the Coco, its meaning, and the Turkish is explaining because the Turkish people explain this. Korkma konuş. Korkma söyle. Kazakça aytganda. Okay? Don't afraid and speak. Its meaning. And you don't give this one. And if you're the students and afraid of and they're doing the wrong and speaking, there are many times, don't shy. When I come here to Kazakhstan first times, I don't know how can I speaking the language. I search a lot of the languages, everybody Russian and English. I want to be speaking in the Kazakh language. I come here the first times. And Zavkos, my school Zavkos says me, Abdullah niye alasın kelmindin? Ben sana öğretim. Okay, how can you teach me? And I'm teaching the lesson. After the lesson, I take off my tie, and he said, "Go to the bazaar." And everybody pressing to me, speaking. Oh, I understand. Now, after the second month, after the lesson, I take the bus and for the Tulebi Street, night for the bus. I take on the bus and go end of the bus station, and I enters. Again, the same bus I come, and why you come again, says me, because I'm true. And also a long time about everybody speaking, they don't have the telephone each other. And actually students times, when the lessons finish at the 6 o'clock, says I'm entering to the school, everybody speaking. I'm listening that they are speaking. Then after I understand. Then also there is one of the movie, 13 Soldiers, Antonio Banderas speaking. And if you are searching to how to learn the language, 13 soldiers, they're explaining. They are listen. After the Japanese peoples, like the Japanese middle girls, I think the Japanese girls is the same because she is afraid of the teachers. She is not speaking. After 6 months, they go because they have already sound is good. Then after, he started speaking. This is very simple. And how I learned the Kazakh language, Coco techniques, I'm never afraid of. Sometimes Turkish, sometimes English, and they know I am a foreigner. And after, good, they could. Thank you.